weather. Y'all want to see this in the back right here? Look at that. Isn't that pretty cool? We was drawing this during the FIFA um, weekend or during the FIFA soccer games. I saw the guy who was drawing these by hand up here. It's not bad at all. Not bad. But anyway, just thought just want to share that with y'all. But Howard University, Lord Jesus. Whew. They're in some hot water. Howard University recently, and shout out to Howard University being, I guess, the premier HBCU of all HBCUs. Of course, I'm a Grambling State University alum, and I don't take too kindly to that. However, still our sister school, and they're considered like the Harvard of HBCUs. Well, people are upset because recently Howard, I guess, as we get closer to the fall semester, which is like next month, they unenrolled or disenrolled 502 students who had not met the financial requirements, so saith the university. And the requirements are set by them in order to have particular amounts already paid before they are able to attend the prestigious Howard University. Howard University, home to some of the greatest minds and academia. And oh yeah, Howard University also, can you believe in the early 1970s, that university under the president back then, like 1974, 73, 74, can you believe they fired Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, premier psychiatrist who wrote the book, The ISIS Papers, based on her Cress theory. I think she was going through a dissertation or a paper she wrote. She was on the faculty teaching, man, and they fired her because she was talking about genetic survival and genetic inferiority with the evidence and all the proof. Those Negroes of that day at Howard fired Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. And you know, I can only imagine had they not been so afraid of what they thought other people would think, or the president or the administration today in 1974, had they not been afraid, such little cowards, and let the woman, man, just explode on their campus. But they sounded too black and they sounded too offensive to white folks. And so the administration fired her. She went on to become this eminent scholar of white supremacy and understanding race and genetics. She was a psychiatrist. Top notch. And continue to rest in peace and power, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. Howard University, you talking about taking an L when you did that. Because imagine the people, the leaders of minds that she could have molded from Howard University. If you ever read her book, The ISIS Papers, you'll see why. The fact that the Cress theory of genetic annihilation, white genetic inferiority, when allowed to be taught to empower black students in the cities like that. I wonder how many minds that she could have molded at Howard University in the early 1970s. That president then and administration then decided to, had they not decided to fire her. Man, not like she wasn't teaching feminism, she wasn't teaching division among black men and black women. She was teaching genetic findings that she did in the lab, her own research, and can be proven. Just go on to YouTube and find her debates. Even when you read her book, a lot of stuff she talked about then has come into fruition tenfolds. But they thought, no, she might mess around with our funding. So, from these good white institutions and white folks and white government systems, so we can't have her on here empowering young black minds at this so-called black institution of higher learning. So guess what? The kind of thinking on the administration part, that thinking has continued because these HBCUs have gone down intellectually. They have literally been wrought with feminism, homosexuality, intersectionality, democratic BS. They're not as strong as they used to be. And a lot of young black men say, you know what, fuck school, I'm gonna go to college, I'm gonna go to trade school. A lot of these HBCUs aren't heterosexual, masculine, male friendly. I'm dealing with some stuff Well, I'm pointing out some things in my own alma mater at Grambling State University. They seem to have a problem with straight black man or black period being the king of the campus. They want to keep it Miss Grambling. It's already had 73 of them, 73 years. And in all that time, no man ever. So Howard University much, the home of Debbie Allen and many others, Chadwick Boseman. I know a lot of famous blacks in the world of entertainment and theater and all that come from Howard. A lot of great minds, a lot of great ideas came from Howard, but Howard University has had a lot of cream poured into its black coffee. If you go look at the population, I think a nice little population of Howard University is now white. And I think the gentrification around the school is kind of taking over. And the LGBT is really, really prominent at this. So, and it's just like a lot of HBCUs. That's a whole nother story. So that's Howard University. So now they've gotten themselves into some hot water with parents and students about disenrolling or unenrolling students who some say they had already been there, but I guess they didn't meet the financial obligation. Some people saying, well, hey, y'all need to follow the rules. Y'all knew the deadlines and all of that, so what y'all tripping about? And then some people come back and say, what the hell y'all mean? I paid my money was straight. Why you disenroll me or unenroll me? So it's going back and forth. I'm looking at it like, Howard University probably gets thousands of applications each week for people trying to go there. People all on social media making their videos expressing their disappointment. One young lady, Howard was my go-to. That's where I wanted to be. Well, damn. So I guess if you don't get accepted or you get disenrolled from Howard, you don't want to go anywhere else. I don't understand that thinking, young lady. I promptly wrote on her post, young lady, since you want to be in D.C. so bad, you're from Georgia, go right on up there to Morgan State. And it's a couple other HBCUs up there, but in Georgia, you have quite a few HBCUs in your home state of Georgia. So you got 100 others you can pick from. Not like you're going there doing no aerodynamics major or none. You're probably going to be some liberal arts. And all HBCUs have some awesome liberal arts programs. Poli-sci, psychology, social work, nursing, got everything. Biology, and the social sciences too. I guess medical science like biology. All of them have a biology program or a degree. So I guess it's the status. For some folks, it's the legacy. My mother went there, her father went there, and blah, blah, blah. I get all of that. All of that is relevant. However, Howard University probably didn't have no room for 500 more students. They probably took all they could take, and they had to cut the fat a little bit. Trim the fat, if you will. That could be the issue. Well, my thing is, I want everybody to know there are at least 9 other HBCUs. If your child wants to go to HBCUs, and I know you have particular ones, but there are a lot of wonderful ones. If you know any young man that's heterosexual, masculine young man, at Grambling State University awaits your application. And if you know, and I say that because, there are a lot of women at these schools. They damn near double and a half the numbers of girls to young men at these HBCUs. And we're saying we need more young men, young black men, FBA black men on these college campuses. And more straight binary, heterosexual, masculine black men on these campuses, because believe it or not, college is where a lot of your parents met and they married, and that's how they got you here and began their family's legacy. They met on campus. Back in the days, a lot of mothers and fathers used to tell their daughters, go to college and get you a husband. But shit is so feminist and disgusting and gay now. See, they go there, the girls walk past the boy. Now they do a lot of twerking and a bunch of thoughting behavior, but they don't want no man. And all this democratic politics they throw around, it's a bunch of nonsense. And they only seem comfortable around men who bend to their will. And that ain't how that works. A real woman likes a strong, masculine man who tell her when to shut up or get her ass somewhere and sit down, or you're not being fair. Hush, let's speak logical. They don't want no yes men, but the feminists and the hard-killing chicks, that's what they want around them. They don't want no man. A lot of these campuses, we walk in these campuses, a lot of these little dudes got so much feminine energy in them. Pants on their booty cheeks, hair, they don't look very masculine, a lot of these young men. And that's the way it seems like the way the feminists and the lesbians like it. They want the guys to kowtow and cater to them. And then guess what? Administrations like this too. A lot of your presidents, HBCU presidents, are lesbians and gay men. So they're not gonna fight for straight men on the campus, fight to have masculine men on campus to match the energy of the young ladies. And versus the feminine, I know it's a lot of ladies on these HBCU who are just crying on the inside silently like, damn, I wish there was some more young men here, you know, that liked women. Not those who want to just be with us and kiki and ha-ha with us. Men, and I just know they are. They ain't gonna say it out loud. Just go to homecoming and see these young ladies around there, and the young men are crawling out of hoes, are crawling out of game room somewhere playing a goddamn PlayStation something. As their way of just not being involved. Well, I can't say the same for me, but I got a chance to attend my beloved, my awesome Grambling State University in the last decade of decent HBCUs. And that was the 90s. I was there from 89 to 94, the last golden era. And I was there for 2 more years for graduate school. So after 96, HBCUs started counting down. I know y'all like, damn, I know he didn't just trying to make the timeline based on when he, all of a sudden, the whole HBCU system went with the shit after he left. No, I wasn't saying that. I'm just saying. After around like 98, man, it ain't too, just a bunch of nonsense. You know, the conscious community fell off these HBCUs. I'm talking about real conscious community, not this Black Lives Matter lesbian revolutionary nonsense with the bull nose rings, septum rings, and tattoos on women's thighs and throats. And about it was real sisters, natural hairstyles, and neo soul and revolutionary conversations and activism on campus as well as outside of campus. They don't do that. Everything they do is guided by the Democratic Party. We weren't connected to no Democratic Party. We was connected to black people, the Black Party. So yeah, Howard University. It's not the same Howard University of the 90s or the 80s or the 70s. It's not. HBCUs aren't the same. It's like, no, don't you know how we say, damn, these aren't the same cookies that when they used to sell it to us when I was a kid in the 70s or 80s. They're fake sugar or fake cookies. Well, that's HBCUs now. Now you got some down there who trying to survive. It's almost like a rose growing through the cracks of concrete when you're one of those real students at the HBCUs. It's not the same. I'll debate anybody on it. Even when y'all pledged, the fraternities and sororities were a little different. They had a little more soul. You know, they still, did the Greek shows, which was fun to go to. They still did their strolling on campus. It was fun. It was very cultural, very different world. But this nonsense is going on now. They ain't even that cool. And then let me be fair. I'm speaking as a Gen Xer, one who's been out of college probably 30 years now. I know things change, and probably the people who are living in this time think it's the greatest thing. And I understand and I respect it. I'm just sharing y'all a different perspective of how HBCUs were really, really useful and really culturally significant to black people, black students. They were very black-centered back then. Right now, they're multicultural-centered and intersectional-centered and LGBT-centered and non-binary shit. It's almost like, again, the proverbial extra amount of cream in a black coffee. But Howard, people are pissed at y'all now, so I'll say to all of them, if y'all so upset about this, you got 99 other HBCUs who would love to have your applications. Even little schools like Claflin and Elizabeth City State University, it's a whole lot of them that would love to have your application as students. So it's your man Rico Y'all please like, share, and subscribe. And how would y'all get together for these folks get on y'all ass? And talk to you later, y'all. Peace.